Hi guys, this is Dwayne at Cancer Warriors. Today I want to show you what I've been doing lately. It's a little bit different than the typical video that I have for Cancer Warriors. Recently, at least since spring, I've been into foraging, looking for medicinal and edible wild plants. Started out with mushrooms, found a few turkey tails, but during the summer I curtailed my mushroom hunting because the woods typically grow up heavy with underbrush, weeds and whatnot, and this is rattlesnake country. And even though I will be wearing leggings when I go in the wood, I do not want to take any unforeseen chances. But anyhow, I want to talk to you today about 4 common plants. One that I knew right off, dandelion, and you look at one right now. It's in my yard now. This is late summer, August 28th, and you won't find a lot of dandelion blossoms. If it was spring, you would find my yard is almost a carpet of yellow for these blossoms. And next spring, or if I should find enough this late summer, which I doubt that I will pick these blossoms, put them in a jar, cover them with vodka, which is 40 to 50% alcohol, and let it set for 3 to 4 weeks, and it'll have a nice thickener. Or I could cover it with olive oil and also let it set for a light number of weeks and end up with infused oil. The only real difference is you try to set it in the wind and the sunshine, which helps the process along. In any case, dandelion is one of the most useful wild edibles you can find in the spring. The greens and the flowers can be eaten as in addition to your salad. They could be fried or boiled. Be similar to spinach. If you look over here next to my buckets where my hydroponic gardening went on, you'll see a lot of big dandelion leaves. That's because they had plenty of water and nutrients in the form of organic nutrients. In fact, they look like you could probably even use them right now for salad greens. I might give it a try because they're not really that tough. You got to remember, I'm up here on a mountain plateau. We don't have really hot, dry weather. I mean, 90 degrees is rare. I've been up here nearly 20 years. I've only seen hot weather 4 or 5 times. It's about 60 degrees now. But something I just recently started using dandelions for is a coffee substitute. Now, I probably could dig these roots up for these plants and make some right now. I didn't realize I had so many. You could look all through my yard here, and my goodness, it's just covered with dandelion plants. What you typically do is you take the root, which is a tap root. It's woody. You dig it up, wash it off, chop it up in small pieces about a 1/4 inch long. You put it in a pot and heat it, or you put it on a cookie sheet and stick it in your oven, and you heat it long enough that it turns almost black. This is the roasting process. Then you run it through a coffee grinder until you get about the consistency of coffee grounds, and then you just take a heaping tablespoon, put it in that coffee filter, set it on top of your cup, and pour some boiling water through it, and you will get a coffee-like substance that has its own aroma. I love the aroma, and the flavor ain't bad either. It doesn't really taste or smell like coffee, but I can assure you You will be surprised at the flavor. It's one that grows on you, and in fact, I've been drinking it now for a week daily. There's a lot of great benefits. Wow. Coffee, or I mean, dandelion root coffee will stimulate bile production. It will help the liver detox. It's just great. And I tell you, it acts like a diuretic, because every time I drink a cup, it seems like I got to go about 3 times within a couple hours. In fact, I think it's even more of a diuretic than caffeine and coffee is. If you don't want to go to the trouble of harvesting dandelion, you could always go to Mountain Rose Herbs. They have every herb under the sun in tincture form, infused oils, dry roots, you name it. But I'm going to start harvesting here, and I may even take some of these greens. Definitely I'm going to take some roots, because there's right here where I'm standing, I could probably get a gallon bucket full of roots. That's just one plant in my yard. Today I'm going to cover just 4 plants. I knew what the dandelion was, but I didn't know how good it tastes. Here's another plant that in the late summer, late July through about the first part of October, you'll see them everywhere. I have thousands of them on my place. I didn't know what it was. Some people call them ironweed, but due to my research on the internet, I just discovered what they really are. They're chicory. They're really not even a wild plant. They're an invasive plant that was brought probably from England. And from what I understand, they pretty much cover a large part of America. This is a spindly plant. If you look towards the bottom, you can't see it here, but I'll show you some others later. It has a very nice pale purple flower, and if you look closely, you might be able to see the end of each petal has a nice serrated pattern. It's almost like somebody clipped it with a pair of serrated scissors. It's very telltale. The stalk is spindly and tough, and since it's chicory, you know what it's used for. It's a coffee substitute. Back in colonial days, they even called it a poor man's coffee. Here in West Virginia, especially here in my area, there's millions of these plants around, and you harvest them the same way you do the dandelion root. In fact, here's one I dug up. The taproot is woody and pretty tough. It's tougher than the dandelion root. You do basically the same thing. You cut the taproot off, you wash it up, chop it up in small bits, and then you toast it until it's almost black, and then you grind it in a coffee grinder. Pour your water through a filter, your boiling water through a filter, and there you'll have a cup of chicory coffee. And I haven't tried it yet, but I will very shortly. It's very obvious between the dandelion and the chicory, I don't need any more coffee. If the chicory's half as good as the dandelion coffee, I'll be well set. Now here's another little plant with a multitude of uses. I just seen this on the internet 3 weeks ago, and this naturalist had a little sprig in his hand, and he was talking about it, and I said, I know I've seen that somewhere before, but where could it be? Well, it's in my yard. It's everywhere. And in fact, right here it is next to my foot. It's called self-heal or all-heal. It has a telltale flower. The main bud actually looks like a little bit like red clover, although it's more of a maroon color. And you will see, generally, you'll see a little tiny purple flower protruding from this. Well, these self hills or all hills are just everywhere. In fact, I've decided to not mow my yard anymore this year because they're coming up and I want to take advantage of them. Here's some that's no more than 2 inches tall. Here you can see it coming up through the grass, the tall grass. Here's some that it's almost a foot tall. Now this strip of grass here is between my greenhouse and my garage, and I normally would have this mowed, but I have a rabbit here all summer. They just love this lush green grass. Plus he was hiding in the grass, so I just decided to quit mowing it, and lo and behold, South Hill is coming up everywhere. Just look at it here. It's all over. In fact, it's all over my yard, front and back, even under my great white oak tree. It's not quite as tall. There's some more coming up here amongst the white clover. Incidentally, I have white and red clover. Right here you'll see some red. Both of these are edible. Now that's 3 plants that I've covered. Here's the 4th plant that I just stumbled onto a few days ago while I was looking for more South Hill. Incidentally, here's some more chicory. Chicory trickery. It's everywhere. And here's something I don't even know what it is. Look at these beautiful little purple flowers with a yellow center. Wow. Got to do some research on those. Anyhow, I'm under my spruce trees here, and there's not a lot of grass here, mostly weeds. And I'm glad I didn't cut it down, because while I was looking for South Hill, I stumbled onto something else. And here it is. And as soon as you pick a piece, you will know. You don't even have to look at it. You can feel it in your hands. It's got a square stem, which means it's a member of the mint family. Now, the blossom, or the bud, I don't know what you want to call this, looks soft, almost like a puffball, but it's not. It feels more like toothbrush bristles. And let me see if I can find one. They will put out little tiny blossoms. Right here's some. See those little pink to purple color? That's coming right off of that little puffball. Well, turns out this is wild basil, and I have it everywhere. Everywhere. It seems to really like my spruce trees because it's about a foot tall around here. The leaves are bigger and the stalk's taller. Just look at this cluster here. Now, when you go up under my white oak tree, which is a large tree, provides a lot of shade, you will still find this, but it's much smaller. It's only about 2 to 3 inches tall. So there you have it, folks. Dandelion, wild basil. By the way, this wild basil makes excellent tea. I'll be trying some here in a few days. All Hill and chicory. When I started this quest, I only thought I had dandelion. Boy, was I in for a surprise. And you are going to be surprised when I show you more. I have probably 4 or 5 times as many plants. Some I've identified, some I have not. There's just a wealth of free produce out here, courtesy of Mother Nature. Non-GMO, organic as Mother Nature could provide. So I'm really thankful that I'm finally starting to learn about these wild, medicinal, and edible herbs and plants. Well, folks, that's all for today. Have a great day. Bye-bye.